Um, so this week's theme is courses. I know it's a super fun theme, but since it's something that's affecting every one of our lives at the moment, I think it's a fairly good one to cover. I currently have 6 courses for the fall semester, um, and they're basically all language courses. No math courses for me yet. I'll probably be taking those next year. Anyways, so the 6 courses I have this semester are linguistics, philosophy, so critical thinking, oral comprehension in French, English essay writing 101, didactique des langues secondes, and an FLS course, so a helper course for that DLS course. Right off the bat, I can already tell you it's hard to say which course is my least favorite. There are certainly some courses that are harder than others. For example, my linguistics course is very abstract at the moment, so sometimes it's difficult to wrap your head around everything. As well, I have 4.5 hours a week of linguistics courses, so it's not, since it's not my favorite course, that can be a little annoying or frustrating at times, I guess that would be a word to use. As well, English is another difficult course, not because it's not interesting, not because the professor doesn't do his best to make the course material interesting, but simply because he is such a hard marker. As I may have mentioned before, historically the average for a course has been between a 68 and a 72. And I'm not looking for those marks. I'm looking for something quite a bit above that. Anyways, just a few funny things about the English class. One, when he was trying to teach us proper essay structure for the introduction, he did include one really funny introductory paragraph about the movie March of the Penguins, and after his thesis sentence, he actually because one of his points was, and it had a really good narration, which isn't a solid point in of itself, but inside brackets he wrote, Morgan Freeman's voice makes me tingle. And it was just such a kind of awkwardly funny sentence, and so inappropriate for an academic paper. As well, he also likes to toss out some very interesting facts as a part of his lecture, which I really like. For example, I've learned that the singular form of you, just like how in French it's tu, in English it used to be thou. So what we think is really fancy is actually the old familiar form of you. You was actually the polite form. Then there's also his story about how when he was talking about the sexism that is inherent in language, he told a story about how when women were just beginning to be integrated into universities, especially in England, because the story happened in England, there's a university professor who was really stuck and prejudiced about women being in the classroom, and so he actually had started each of his lectures with the word gentleman. And so the ladies got together and they told all the men not to come to the next class. And basically there was only one male in the classroom that day. The professor actually went up and stood directly in front of the man and said, gentleman, and then directed his entire lecture towards that one person. The following day there were only females in the class. The professor came in, looked around, and said, I see that there is no one here today, and then left. Anyway, I know that's not exactly the sort of story that we'd like to hear today, but I just thought it was a very interesting story, and it definitely fit in within the context of the lesson. Anyways, didactique des langues secondes is also my major, so it's a good thing I'm enjoying that class. I have a really good teacher. He's kind of funny, and as one student in the class pointed out during an exercise, he has a very interesting way of speaking. Whoa, one into French right there. Let me see if I can imitate him. 1 second. I'm not very good at imitating people, so here we go. Alors, aujourd'hui, nous allons faire une révision des concepts que nous avons étudiés dans la classe dernière. Alors, now I know that may sound like he's a boring teacher, he speaks in a monotone or whatever. He is definitely not. He's a very energetic professor. He moves around the class. We're kind of set up in groups of 4. And we're a very small class. We're about 40 students, and he just kind of weaves them around the desks. So it's a lot of fun. You kind of hurt your neck a few times because it's trying to follow him, but overall, it's all good. And then I think my favorite class would be my helper class for that, because it's a very personalized class. There's only about 4 students. No, there is 4 students in that class, and so the professor gives us very personalized help with the concepts and with our French speaking abilities. Anyways, I actually have a midterm in just over an hour from now, so I think I'm gonna have to end my video with this. I do miss all of you, and as I said before, I shall correct myself, I'm going to be in Toronto from October 12th to the 19th, so I really, really hope that at least some of you guys will be in town at that point in time. Anyways, I hope to see you then, and I miss you. Bye!